Hey friends, Justin here with the People Mover podcast. Thank you so much for joining us here today, episode number 1 of 2025. And today we're going to be talking about the best time to visit Disney World. The holidays have just happened. It's a new year. A lot of people are planning their Disney vacation. So I'm getting a lot of people messaging me, asking me, when do I think the best time to go to Disney World is? And that really comes to a lot of considerations, right? So, because we own a travel agency, we get to see kind of all these different scenarios here. So if you do need help planning your Disney vacation, make sure you go over to magicvacationfamily.com, fill out the vacation request, and my wife or I will be able to help you out. But let's kick off this episode right now.
Welcome to the People Mover Podcast, the length of the iconic ride and your ultimate guide to Disney World and Disney Cruises. Whether you're a first-timer or a seasoned fan, we've got tips, tricks, and options to elevate your magical journey. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Magic Vacation Family for more Disney magic. Buckle up and let's dive into the world of Disney.
All right, so topic number 1, like I said, is going to be the best time to visit Disney World. Now, that really depends on what your definition of best time is, right? So a lot of people that are asking for the best time to visit Disney World are usually wanting to avoid like heavy crowds, long waits, high prices, and sometimes they're actually even trying to avoid that really hot and humid Florida weather. So let's talk about off-peak seasons first. So that's going to be kind of like your mid-January to mid-February time. We're talking after the holiday rush. Those crowds are going to thin out a little bit. Plus, the weather's a lot more mild. So, for example, I am going here at the end of January. So January 28th through February 2nd, I'm going to be down in Orlando. And I'm going down there for a conference. But definitely I'm going to be down there for some Disney experiences as well, right? But I'm not just going to be bringing my shorts. I'm from the Midwest. I'm used to the cold weather. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be wearing shorts down in Florida. I'm going to be bringing my joggers. I'm going to be bringing a sweatshirt, maybe a light windbreaker for the evening because it does get chilly, right? I mean, we're talking maybe 50s to, low 60s. It could get chilly there. So because of that, it's one of the best times to visit because the crowds are very low. And also so is the pricing, right? The pricing is going to vary based on the crowd. So that's one time that I would highly recommend going. Another time is going to be kind of looking into late April to mid-May. I always say after the spring break rush. Also, the first week and 2 weeks after Easter, it is always super slow. I mean, we're talking walk-on. My wife and I go there usually after Easter. And between my son and daughter, I mean, we can pretty much walk on to every single ride those 2 weeks after Easter. So highly recommend that if you can accommodate that in your schedule. Not everyone can, but definitely something to consider. Another thing too is that's right before the summer break kicks off, right? That late April to mid-May. So the crowds are still manageable. The weather is also really pleasant. Think it's springtime, right? And that means because it's springtime, the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival is kicking off then too. So you want to get a really good glimpse of amazing Disney-inspired florals and decor. You definitely want to go there for the Epcot Flower and Garden Show and want to make sure that you go there late April to mid-May if you want to avoid those kind of off-peak season times. Also, late August through September, school's usually back in session. A lot of the times they go back to school and, most places are going back to school in August or early September. So, you may have a bit more opportunity to travel down there. Now, I know it's maybe a little bit harder to take kids out of school since they've just gone back, but sometimes it's worth it. You can save some money there, plus avoid some crowds. The only thing I would say is it is kind of at the peak of Florida's hurricane season, and it's usually pretty hot and rainy. So, anytime you go to Florida, you're going to be battling rain. So my wife and I always joke, we bring our rain gear, our umbrellas, our stroller covers, you name it. And every time we bring them into the parks, it doesn't rain. But the days that we do bring them don't bring them into the parks, it rains on us. So I just recommend bringing them no matter what to try to make sure that you are always prepared, because just because it rains doesn't mean that it has to ruin your vacation, right? You can make the best of it. So highly recommend that. And then also early December. So I'm talking about right after Thanksgiving, right to the beginning, kind of first couple weeks of December. A lot of the times that transition for families, people are wrapping stuff up at work before the holidays, but it's going to be beautifully decorated for the holidays. That also gives you an opportunity to attend Mickey's Very Merry Christmas. So also that festive atmosphere, with the fewer crowds, the weather's starting to change again. It's going to be a little bit cooler again. So that is a really good time to be visiting. Now, highly recommend avoiding kind of the peak season stuff though. So I know I said holidays, right? And I said early December. The reason why I say early December is because as we get closer to the middle of December, to New Year's or around right around Thanksgiving and before Easter and also like the spring break time in March, it's going to be extremely busy. The other things I would call out too is like your long weekends, your holiday weekends. So your Memorial Day weekends, your Labor Day weekends. 4th of July is absolutely bananas down there. So don't make the same mistake that I did and being like, oh, we're going to go down here and see amazing fireworks for the 4th of July. It was absolute chaos. We've done it twice. Trying to push a stroller around in that chaos was madness. So if it's like, you and your partner or you and someone that just wants to go down there, or, maybe you grew up with girlfriends or boyfriends, whatever, that's fine. But if you're trying to go down there with kids, I'd definitely highly recommend avoiding those long weekends, especially 4th of July. But also the weather considerations too, right? You have to know your own body. So if you're one of those people that sweats really bad, gets hot really easily and gets annoyed of the heat, you want to avoid the summer months, so that summer, June to August. First of all, it's going to be very crowded because it's summer break, especially locals. They don't have school. And then also like I said, the temperatures can be extremely sweltering. So making it a little less comfortable to visit. Now, I do have an episode that's going to be coming up here that talks about my favorite rides to cool down on. So I can give you tips and tricks. So if you are forced to go down during that time of the year, I can actually help you through that. And I help people through that all the time. I mean, I'm one of those people that gets really warm really quick. So I need to find places to cool down. So I can definitely help you with that as well. Once again, if you do need help, make sure you visit our website, magicvacationfamily.com. My wife and I, we are Disney Midwest experts. So especially if you're in the Midwest area, we're from Minnesota, but we help people all over the country plan their magic vacations. So if you have any questions, you have any tips you want me to bring up or any future topics, make sure you message us as well at magicvacationfamily.com. Otherwise, I'm going to end this show early here today. Thanks for joining us here for episode number 1 of 2025. Best time to visit Disney World here on the People Mover Podcast.